Oh, she's bloody lovely. So easy to handle, so easy. Oh, that throttle's just addictive. Flicks left to right, seamless, it really is. Oh yes, come on baby. Bloody love this bike. So, thank you very much for joining me today. Today is bike number 3 of my top 5 Triumphs. And I'm back at the beautiful dealership, Triumph Stafford, or Staffordshire Triumph, up in Stoke-on-Trent, where Dan, the amazing man, has said to me, Lee, you can come back anytime you like and ride whatever you like. So, I've come back today to ride bike number 3, which for me is one of those bikes that I've had a love affair with for over a decade, because it all started with the 800 Tiger and I worked on every single one all the way up to the last bike I developed, and here she is. Oh, what a beauty. So this is the Tiger 900 and I gotta say, absolutely love it. It has been a big part of my life, this bike, and we'll get into that when we get out on the road. I actually really like the colour scheme of this one. So this is Desert Edition, and I gotta say, it's really striking. It's good to see that Triumph have started doing some bold colours and graphics again, rather than just the blue, the red, the black. You know, it's an absolutely stunning machine. So you get the beautiful Akrapovic can. I mean, that's just beautiful in itself. I'll be interested to see how much this bike has changed from my time in development and developing this bike. But yeah, she's a beauty. I think you get the engine bars as standard on this, as well as all the other goodies, the quick shifter, and you get the Akrapovic, which we'll have a listen to that in a minute, because I've got a feeling that's going to sound absolutely bloody amazing. So this is Stafford Triumph's demo bike. So if you want to come down and throw your leg over, bring your license, your national insurance number, and they'll let you take her out. But yeah, she's absolutely bloody beautiful. I'm looking forward to throwing my leg over this one. It will bring back some amazing memories. Here we go. Tiger 900 2026 Desert Edition. I might have said Desert Storm in the intro, but you know what? Maybe they should have called it the Desert Storm, because it sounds better. But it is Desert Edition. Well, let's go and find some nice roads with a little bit of twisty on, a little bit of national, and have a chat about the beautiful Tiger 900 and why it is my bike number 3. Oh, traffic slayer, that's what this bike is. So nimble, so easy. That Akrapovic sounds bloody amazing, I'm not going to lie. Oh, so why is the Tiger 900 my number 3? Well, if I'm honest, number 3 is covered by really all of the Tigers, from the very first 800 all the way through to this 900. And I worked on every single Triumph project for the Triumph Tiger, from the very first conception of the cable throttled 2011/2012 Tiger 800, which was something totally new for Triumph. You know, they'd never pushed their adventure bike segment to their market this far before, and it was new from the ground up. So it was one of those really exciting projects, and I owned a 2012 Tiger 800, and you know what, I love that bike. I love the gearing of it. It was amazing, and it, you know, every single model from there on in just got better and better and better. So all the feedback that we would give as test riders might not necessarily change something for, say, this generation of bike, but the engineers would roll that over to the next generation, and if they thought you was given a valid point on what you wanted changing, then the next generation you would see the feedback that you gave would change something on the next generation of Tigers or any Triumphs. So I was lucky enough to do a lot of miles on every single Tiger 800, from the very first one all the way through to the very first Tiger 900. Now the Tiger 900 was my last bike. It was the last bike I developed for Triumph And what made it special was I developed the whole project, because I'd just come back from a horrific injury in 2018 stroke 2019. I returned back to work, and because I was still recovering, you know, my hip was still healing, and me being the eager beaver, I just wanted to get back in the saddle, get back to it. So Triumph said, we're going to put you on the Tiger 900 and you can stay on that bike for the duration. And I did, and I mean, that was rare in itself, because you would normally do 10,000 miles on any Pacific model and then get swapped over onto another project or another bike or another model, and that would continue through development, so they could put as many bums in seats as possible. So I did the first 26,000 miles on the first prototype, and then unfortunately my hip failed and the bolts went straight through, and I had to go back into hospital, the bolts removed, and I ended up with a carbon fibre hip, which once I got the hip only put me out of action for 4 weeks. And I was back at Triumph, and I went on the Rocket 3 for a bit, which is my number 5 in my list of top Triumphs, and until the next Tiger 900 model had been prepped and built. And as soon as it has, I completed the last prototype, which would be the road ready version of what you good people would be buying. And unfortunately we ran out of bikes, and that was at that point we were mid-COVID, and it wasn't long after I finished the 900 that myself and my wife lost our jobs at Triumph, like many people did. So the 900, yeah, it's one of those bikes. I did a lot to it. It was shoehorned around all of my feedback, what I wanted from a bike, what I wanted from a 900, and they gave it me, you know, from the quick shifter to the ergonomics to the technology. It was just amazing, an amazing bike, and it still is. And I did buy one in 2021, and I loved it. I just wasn't in love with it, because in total I did 65,000 miles on Tiger 900. So when I actually bought one, it didn't take me long to realise that I'd already had the love affair. I'd already had the time and the miles spent on that bike, to the point, yeah, I loved it, but I wasn't in love with it. But this one will always be a big part of me, a big part of my life. So today, this being a 26 model, I'm interested to see actually how much this bike's changed, if anything. You know, there might be a little bit more power, there might be a little bit more mid-range, but in general it feels exactly the same as the 2019 Tiger 900 that I developed and fell in love with. It's comfortable, it's agile, it's nimble, the fueling on the throttle, it delivers so well. I have no clue where I'm going. A bit like the last time. I think sometimes, you know, the best roads are the ones that you find by accident. You're never lost, you're just on a new adventure. I quite like the colour of this one, I'm not going to lie. It's very eye-catching with the orange. And yeah, I am loving. Oh, look at that. So much in there that you could be lost in forever. Nice. I like the orange and the flames. That's quite eye-catching. Because on the original one, it always blew me away how big the TFT was. It was like having this massive iPad shoved in your face. But what I found quite quickly was, once I'd set it, and I'd set everything to where I liked it, and the screen that I liked, I never touched it again. I do like the fact that the switchgear is quite simplistic. You know, yes, there's probably a lot to do with looking through the menus and picking what you want, but everything else for me is quite well placed, especially as this hand doesn't have a lot to do apart from throttle on. That's how it should be. Oh, finally, Nationals! And there she roars. Quick shifter, she's still as lovely and smooth as butter. She really is. And like I say, this bike always felt just so natural, so flickable. The 900, the 800, the 900 for me was always the go-to rather than the 1200. The 1200 is great if you do a lot of two-up, but you know what, the 900 is just so much more fun. This bike does feel like it's got a bit more pickup in the mid-range to the 900 I developed, fourth gear, and she does feel like she's got a little bit more pull. Not that she was ever lacking that, but this one definitely feels like it's got a little bit more. The handling is just the same. She will track a corner beautifully. And I remember why I fell in love with this bike. She is a do-it-all, you know. You can commute on it, you can go to the pub on it, and you can go around the world if you so wish. This bike will just keep giving and giving. Now, one of the things that's really changed with the 900 is the price. You know, and I'll put the price up here of what this bike costs. Now, when that first 800 came out for the XC, which was the 21-inch front wheel, was £7,600, and for the standard, what is the GT with the smaller front wheel and the mag wheels, which was more road biased, that was 7,200. Roll on to 2026 and this bike costs this much now. Oh, she just gives so much confidence in the bends, you know. Tracks a corner beautifully, the tyres feel good, and this bike really will suit no matter what your sort of riding is, whether you're a spirited rider or you just like bimbling round. This bike will suit all, no matter of age or capabilities. Because it is a very easy bike to get on with. Oh, aquaponic! Oh, listen to it roar. And that is one of the bonuses of getting yourself a desert or a desert edition, is you get that kind of standard. But I am guessing this is just a normal Tiger 900 Pro with a nice spray job on it and a few little bits of trinketry like that exhaust system. The throttle is sublime, it's so easy to control, and you know what, I think that's one of the selling points. I keep saying it in all my videos that have anything to do with a Triumph. Is Triumph really do put a lot of money into doing their tunes and their fueling maps. I think I'm going to go this way. Because I have no clue where I am, but like I say, some of the best roads are the ones you find by accident. Oh, I do like that clock. It's very eye-catching. So the screen is in its lowest position, and you can do it with one hand on the fly. That's in its highest position now. I didn't actually feel any buffeting with it in the lowest position. And it is quite easy, just push forward and down. I mean, up is a lot harder, but down is quite easy. We'll keep it in the up position for now, see how much difference that makes. Like I say, I wasn't actually feeling any wind buffeting to the head. I can remember the original screen on the 900, a bit of a pig to do on the fly, but that's not too bad, it's quite easy. Seat comfort on this one is pretty good. I don't know what it's like on any sort of long distance, because I'm not going to do it, but we did go through a stage at Triumph. I can remember, I think it was the 2014 model. The seat was absolutely sublime, it was beautiful. And then when we did the next generation, the seat was shocking, and I was like, oh my god, what have you done? It absolutely crippled me. It crippled me that much that I went and bought an Airhawk, because I just couldn't do my 400, 500 miles a day without something different to sit on. It was just that bad. And when I spoke to the engineer, and I was like, how did we get it so right on the last generation compared to getting it so wrong on this one? Because it's giving me pressure marks and cutting me in all sorts of places. And he said to me, well, how many miles do you get before you start feeling this discomfort? And I says, probably about 40 miles. And he smiled and he went, that's perfect. He says, because what we realised was, on the last generation, we didn't actually sell any comfort seats because we made it so damn comfortable in the OE form. So, yeah, that's what they do, you know. They want to sell accessories. So you can pretty much guarantee that the standard seat will only give you a certain level of comfort, because they want you to part with your money for that comfort seat, you know. The average comfort seat is going to cost you for anywhere from £250 upwards. Oh, she's bloody lovely. So easy to handle, so easy. Oh, that throttle's just addictive. Flicks left to right, seamless, it really is. Oh yes, come on baby. Bloody love this bike. This is what I remember. I used to love taking this bike to Wales on these kinds of roads. Oh, she's definitely got more pull in the middle. Oh yeah, that quick shift was lovely. That was first to second. I find a lot of quick shifters, blippers, first to second can always feel a little bit clunky, but that was absolutely sublime. And for me, this is the roads I love on this sort of bike, you know. Yes, it'll do the motorways and it'll do the fast sweeping roads, but the way it handles through the tight twisty roads, just the change of direction, absolutely bloody lovely. It really is, and deserves to be my number 3. Now, the Tiger 900 is not perfect, you know, and the biggest gripe I ever had with the Tiger 900 was the fact that they went with the T-plane crank, and I begged them not to. I really did. On that very early prototype, for me, the bike is so vibey, and I can feel it now in my hands at 27 mile an hour in second gear, you know. It is vibey. Motorway speeds, it's vibey. Myself and my wife, we did tour up all the way to Spain just before Christmas 2019. We had to go out to Spain to do some ergonomic work on the Tiger 660 Sport, and it was all about little warm and short arms for the grab rails. And we rode out to Spain, and we were doing motorway mile after motorway mile. It gets to the first fuel stop, and I looked around, and my wife's in a heap on the floor. Totally lost the sensation in her legs because of the vibrations that was just constantly going through the pegs. And it's the same as a rider. The pegs are quite vibey. The bars at any constant speed or steady state throttle, it's quite vibey, and it is because of that T-plane crank.
if you can live with that, the rest of the bike will grab your heart and make you fall in love. It really will. And for me, it just became a compromise. I wasn't going to be able to change it, but I loved everything else about the bike. And you sort of just put it to the back of your mind and accept that, yeah, do you know what? She's a little bit vibey. But it is all because of that T-plane crank. But put that to one side. Oh my God. The Tiger 900. It's a beautiful bike. It really is. And if I win that lottery, I will be definitely having one of these in my collection. And here we go, Nationals, third gear, throttler on. Oh yes, that quick shifter. So sublime. Just up and down like butter. In the development of the original Tiger 900, we did have quite a few problems with the quick shifter. And, right at the end of development, they changed the brand of it or where they were sourcing it from, and instantly it just became so much better. And that's in the end what quick shifter they ran with, and it was the best decision they ever made, because the original one that they were trying to adapt to this bike just wasn't working. So clunky, so just felt like you were doing really bad clutchless changes. I'll say it again, that quick shift is so smooth, even at just bimbling around. There's quite a few quick shifters on different bikes that I've ridden that you tend to leave the quick shifter till you're actually at pace and you're going, you know, you clutch first, second, sometimes even third, and then once you're actually throttling on hard, then you can start using the blipper up and down. But this is so silky.
So there we have it, the Tiger 900 Rally Pro Desert Edition. I gotta say, do you know what, I do love this bike for a lot of reasons, mainly for the memories that I made on it and my time as a development test rider for Triumph. Has it changed a lot? Yeah, in many ways it has. You know, there's a lot more mid-range, it seems, in this bike now. The quick shifter, the quick shifter is next level on this bike. It really is. So smooth, so sublime. Even at low revs, minimal throttle, it just slicks up and it slicks down. It was absolutely quite an eye-opener to how good this quick shifter is on this bike. I've ridden quite a few that definitely don't come up to the standards of this one. I love the spray job on this and the way the colours pop. Do you know, it still feels like that comfy pair of slippers that I developed in 2018, 2019, and it's a bike I will always love and always cherish. That, you know, part of my DNA in this bike, and I'm proud of that. So if you haven't ridden a Tiger 900 Rally Pro or a GT, throw your leg over, go and have a go. I prefer the Rally Pro because I prefer the 21-inch front wheel and it's a little bit taller for me, but both bikes are absolutely amazing, and it's a bike that's in Triumph's lineup for a reason, and deservedly so. The Tiger 800 held the best mid-range adventure bike for a long time, beating BMW at every turn. Yes, they couldn't do it with the big GS and the big 1200 Explorer, but when it came to this bike and the heritage of this bike, every time it beat the competitors, and for me it still does to this day. So much personality, so much character. So if it's a bike that interests you, do you know, as ever, go and ride one. You won't be disappointed. It's such an easy bike to ride, an easy bike to live with, and boy, as you've seen from the video, when you want to, you can hoon it around. The twist is like a sports bike. Absolutely amazing. So on that note, thank you very much for joining me today. This is deservedly number 3 in my list of top 5s. Thank you very much as ever. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, show me some love, help me grow. And you know what? I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe out there, stay safe. Never ride faster than your angel can fly.
Biker buddy sets himself free, living his best life, letting it be. One hand on the throttle.